My name is Omer. I'll be talking about incident response at scale. This talk came to mind after years of pain and suffering trying to do the same old methods of incident response at large scale infrastructure. And when I mean large, I mean tens and hundreds and thousands of servers. A little bit about myself. I've been playing around with computers and security for quite a long time. Started coding when I was 7. I did my first hack when I was 9. After some freelancing through high school and some time in the Israeli army, started working for Fortune 50 companies, focusing mainly on security and incident response. Currently senior paranoid at Yahoo, which is the best title I've ever had, leading the global incident response team. Also founded the Israeli CERT in 2011, which is a voluntary organization based in Israel, helping to mitigate and manage attacks against the nation of Israel, its people and organizations. Also a member of ISACA's CSX certification task force, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And finally, a licensed skydiver with 996 jumps, recovering from a small accident, but I'll be up and jumping in no time. So if you've seen enough TV and in movies, you may think this is what a SOC may look like. A dark room, a lot of people staring at monitors, hissing around, trying to fight people around the world. But if you ever walked into a live SOC or security group during an incident, this is what it may look like. People chasing around, trying to figure out what's going on, things catching on fire. It's pretty hectic sometimes. By the way, most of the GIFs in this presentations are from Security Reactions Tumblr. If you haven't known it, it's a pretty good site. So this could possibly be the reason that a recent study shows that more than 200 days it takes for a company to realize it was breached. All of this running around, chasing after each and every incident that comes to life, makes you lose focus and get numb and miss those large breaches. Another good statistic is over in the past year of 2015, 700 million records lost or stolen in various breaches, and I don't need too many name dropping. And again, this is a scary statistic. It makes us want to be alert and always jump at everything that comes through. But again, every time something pops up, you try and catch it. You think that's the real thing, but it ends up being nothing. So why is this happening? Why are we getting numb? Why so many incidents come through that are meaningless, get us all worked up, we spend so much time on it, and we end up missing the real incident that comes through? Well, first thing that comes to mind are these screens. All those huge dashboards with tons of tickets and gauges and graphs showing us everything we need to know, overloading us with information. But at the end, we end up missing the real incidents. I want to go over an example of an incident of that. It's probably happening at your company today, every day, pretty much standard incident of a malware detection in your company. So it all starts with an alert from the SIM, that dashboard you just saw. The first thing the analyst does is collect information about the affected host. They want to realize what endpoint is it, who owns it, where is it in the network. And there are many ways to do that. I've seen people use the host command to do DNS discovery. I've seen people prefer Active Directory to go and figure out exactly what's going on, what business unit it's in based on that information. Some people use ping-a to do reverse DNS and also check if the host is alive. Many different ways to do it. And there are some analysts that just hack right into that box and get all the information from the inside. So once they know what host it's about, they need to understand the context. What business unit is this in? Is this an executive laptop? Is this a sensitive network? A production environment maybe? What kind of environment are we dealing with? Next step is to classify the incident. Now that I have all the information, I can put a type to it, I can define the severity, the urgency of the matter, and then start working a playbook. And again, also here, many organizations have different ways of doing things. Some of them like to use very detailed playbooks of approaches of how to handle each incident. Some organizations have a very high level approach of triaging all incidents, and they deep dive when they need to. And some teams have no idea what to do until that one guy that's been there forever comes to help out. So now I know what to do. In this case, it's a malware incident. Let's say it's not sensitive. I don't need to do a forensic investigation. I'm going to open up a ticket with IT. ITSM tickets are horrible. Forms after forms after forms that you need to fill out, copying, pasting from your report, if it's your email or whatever it is, to get the host re-imaged. This can easily eat up 10, 15 minutes every time. Next thing you need to do is wait for IT to re-image. This could take some time, depending on the organization, but finally your analyst will get an email or some notification that the host was re-imaged. They're going to test again to see that it's no longer active, and the incident is closed. This entire process can take 20, 30 minutes if it's just one host. Now imagine when you have a large infrastructure, speaker before me talked about Internet of Things, you're going to imagine having dozens of these a day. It could take days to clear up that queue, and by the time you're done, another stack of incidents have piled up. And I didn't even mention forensics. In case I did need to do some collection from those hosts, get disk images, get memory images, transferring all of that over the network just means sitting and waiting for everything to transfer, could take forever. So how do we fix this? How do we approach this, this problem and get a lot of things done in a much quicker time? Well, first thing you need is a budget. I don't need to tell you how hard it is to work with a budget. Having founded the Israeli CERT with $0 was even harder than fighting a shark with bare hands. Now that we have money, we need to get better analysts. We need to get people that know how to do the job. I don't want to train people on the job. I don't want to have to teach them how to do those simple things. And that's why CSX is a really good certification. Unlike other certs where you need to read a book and answer some questions, it's a performance-based exam, which means you're faced with a virtual lab and you have different scenarios, and you need to actually do things. You need to enumerate the network, patch hosts, install stuff, fix the firewall, do the actual work an analyst would do. So if someone passed that exam, I know they're capable of doing the job. Then there's the issue of company-specific playbooks. Every time someone joins a company, it takes them several months to learn the company, know how to handle each and every incident. Even if it's the same classic incident of malware or phishing or something like that, it's going to be different in each and every environment. That learning curve makes it really, really steep. And by the time those junior analysts know the job, they become senior analysts. They don't want to deal with triage anymore. They want to focus on real investigations, which means the whole cycle starts again and you need to train new analysts. Finally, automation. That's what we're here for, and that's the big part that's going to help us push forward. But automation is hard, and you can definitely do it wrong. If you automate everything, things are just going to end up breaking. But let's try and go over that incident one more time. This time, imagine a magical box that's going to do everything for you. So again, it all starts with a SIM alert. That magical system will collect all the information about that host. It knows your asset management system. It knows exactly what to do on your environment, and it's going to get that information. Next step, recognize the host based on those systems and understand the context, which business unit it's in, and make a decision of how to handle it next. If I need to escalate it, if it's an important system, or I can just move forward. Now that it has all the information and knows what to do, it's going to start the incident, start running the playbook, and in this case, just open up that ITSM ticket. I don't need people filling in forms. The system can do it for me. It has all the information. Instead of copying and pasting, it's just going to do it for me. And at this point, that's when I want my analyst to step in. Now that everything's being done, the process has started, the analyst can step in and make a decision. That's why I need them. I need them to think, not to copy and paste stuff. I want them to be so pumped and so excited about every incident that comes through so they don't get numb and tired and miss the big things. The analyst comes in, waits for the system to get re-imaged, it's done, they inspect it, incident is closed. So this magical system is not really magical. It's just using APIs. They're everywhere. Every product that you have, every system you use internally, if it doesn't have APIs, replace it. You can integrate those APIs into each and every process of your incident response. Endpoint information, asset management systems, Active Directory, whatever you use internally. I've seen some organizations use DNS text records to hold information. Whatever you have, you can probably script it. If you could put in a line of code, don't make people copy and paste commands, script it. HR systems also a great valuable source of information. You can understand the chain of command, what organizations people are in, if it's an executive or sensitive host, you can get it from that. IOC lookups. There are many threat exchanges out there, information exchanges, that can help you enrich the data that you have. Every piece of information can be extrapolated and gathered more information, and using IOC management systems like crits and other products that are there can help you complete the picture and get a better understanding of what you're dealing with. Has everyone ever heard of Threat Exchange? Definitely check it out. It's an information sharing network hosted by Facebook, focusing on indications of compromise, descriptors of compromise. It's very easy to script it. There are more than 100 companies in there. It's been working for about a year now. Millions and millions and millions of data points that you can use. Scripting is very easy. A few lines of Python can get you a lot of valuable information for your company. And if you find something that may not be relevant to you, or you're willing to share it, you can definitely submit it to the exchange. But what can I do with all that vast number of data points that are out there? Some of it may not be relevant to me. Well, using that automation, you can definitely make it relevant to you. Let's say I pull a batch of compromised credentials. These are credentials that have been posted or leaked on Pastebin or other places, and I can turn them around to be useful for me. The biggest problem with compromised credentials is password reuse. A lot of people use the same alias, the same password on many different accounts, probably on your company account. All I need to do, take all these accounts, either test them directly or just change the domain, keep the same alias, check that username and password on my system. If it matches, it's probably the same person. I probably just saved them from being compromised, saved my company from being compromised because I got ahead of the curve. Another good example is VirusTotal. Also an openly available API that can help you connect the dots between a lot of different IOCs. Very simple API to use. Again, simple Python library that you can find online. That if you imagine each and every IP that you get, each and every binary or hash that you find in your system, just check against VirusTotal. And again, this helps me figure out the bad stuff. Because if I see something on my network, some suspicious behavior from a binary, send it over to VirusTotal. If it was found by 70 or 80% of the engines out there, it's probably known. I probably shouldn't care about it that much. I'll just clean it. But if I find something that VirusTotal doesn't know about, that's probably a targeted attack. And that's where I want to spend my time, and that's where I want my analysts to spend their time. Communication. That's a really big and important thing. Please stop using email. Sending full reports over email just doesn't make sense, especially once you start enriching your data and having full-blown reports. Sending all that data over email just doesn't make sense, especially alerts. I don't know how many times an incident hasn't picked up in time because someone forgot to check their email. Use instant messaging systems, HipChat, Slack. You can even build a bot for WhatsApp or whatever you want to use so your analyst and your team is aware of things on time. You you should use incident management systems, and that's not your SIM. Your SIM is your correlator, it's your engine that connects everything together. An incident management system has built-in workflows that make sure your analysts follow the right steps, integrate a lot of products out there that already do integration and automation like I'm talking about. It can really help you speed things up. You can start automating the response. Send out those initial incident digest reports. As soon as the incident comes in, as soon as it goes through initial triage, this is definitely something you can and should send over emails, not just to your team, but to the affected business unit, to management. It would really help pull people in that you didn't think about that would be useful to understand what's going on. Evidence collection, that's a big piece. Once you've identified the host and you understand this is something you want to look into, script the collection. Collect all the data points that you need from the host, whatever evidence you need, pull that into your incident management system and start connecting the dots. And again, ITSM. Everything is really easy to script. A lot of development teams use Jira to manage their development process. Imagine opening up a Jira ticket with the right development team as soon as the incident starts. As soon as you know the problem, open up a ticket with them through the system, and they'll start working on a bug fix. Many other systems like BMC, Landesk, ServiceNow all have open APIs that you can use to start the incident handling. Again, stop filling forms, please. So benefits of automation. Well, first of all, it's super cool. Having come in the morning, seeing that somewhere around the world an incident spun up, the malware was found, detected, I saw it was on VirusTotal, I don't care about it, I can re-image it, it's not sensitive, I come in the morning and it's done. It reduces my triage time, reduces my response time, and with those incident management systems, it ensures all the steps I need to be taken care of are followed. Every piece of information is covered. A lot of open tools out there that you can use. These are some examples. I'll be happy to answer some questions and talk to you after the talk. Thank you.